Hello, Mr. Andy.
How are you, Zach? Randy from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Hey, Randy. How are you, man? Thanks for having me, man.
Or should I call you Champion Golfer of the Year 2015?
You can do that. You can do that.
Well, you earned it,
That
brother.
doesn't sound
You
bad.
earned it.
Thank you. Thank you.
I actually had a business meeting that day that I canceled and told the gentleman to come to my house and we would watch the final round of the Open over steak and wine and had the meeting here at my home. And that was remarkable. One of the most incredible Opens in recent history. And what got me, Zach, was the 17th hole during the playoff round. And that's what I want to talk to you a little bit about first. Going back through the road hole, how were you able to keep your concentration? Because basically when you blew it left of the road hole, then, as I would say, scalded over the green, most golfers would have lost their focus at that point. What allowed you to stay focused? Where was your mindset then?
Well, I mean, I think staying focused was not an issue, and that sort of situation. I mean, everything's kind of heightened, everything's kind of magnified. You know, I probably hit a shot. Well, I hit a terrible shot on my second shot. Probably the worst shot I hit, certainly all day, potentially even all week. You know, but I felt great about where I was, certainly in the game and in that situation. So, you know, I'm like, just stick down, stick to what you're doing. You're here for a reason. I tried to hit a shot that was very, very difficult. I don't regret it. Clearly, it's easy to say that, but at the same time, if I was in that position again, I'm not going to chip it out over there to 40, 50 feet and just basically concede a 5. I'm going to try to get this up and down. That was the last thing I was thinking. So, you know, I drew a good lie on my fourth shot, fortunately, and you know, I'm not saying I was going to make it, but it had a chance, and obviously I hit it to about 4.5, 5 feet, and you know, I hit a great putt on one, I hit a really, really good putt on two, and probably the most solid putt I hit, from what I can remember, was that bogey save on 17. You know, and I had a gift. I mean, obviously a couple 3 putts by both Leash and Louis, you know, obviously that helped me in the grand scheme of things. But, you know, I still was able to execute when I needed to and make that 5-footer.
Zach, you just told me that focus was not a problem. You told me that focus was not a problem.
Yeah.
That's an incredible statement considering the arena you were in at St. Andrews during the Open. When you just said that your focus was not an issue, what were you focused on? You're a professional golfer. Your mindset is the next shot. What is your mindset at that point?
Well, you know, it comes down to it. Those situations, crunch situations on Sunday, granted this was on a Monday or a playoff, that's really why I practice. I mean, my practice is very focused. It's very strategic. It's very, I would say, efficient in the approach. So the things that I'm dwelling on are those. I mean, I remember what I did on the range. I remember what I did on the practice putting green. And I'm trying to revert back to those. And the bottom line is this. My focus was, I would say, heightened because at that point, all I can do is control what I can control. I can't control where the ball ends up, but I can control how many looks I take at my target, how many steps I take into the ball, when I'm breathing, how I'm breathing, the pace of my walk, etc. And I hate, but that is really what I'm thinking about. I'm just trying to, not to be simplistic or even cliche, but left foot, right foot. I mean, it really boils down to the simplest of things and trusting what I'm in that position for a reason. There's no reason to deviate. And I don't want to say I was overly comfortable, but if anything, I savor those moments, I relish those moments, and there is a comfort level for me.
How far was the ball buried in the rough when you scalded over the green? How deep was that ball in there?
You know what? It was sitting up pretty nice. I mean, that grass there is kind of wispy. Obviously, I got a break that it didn't go down onto the cart path. But yeah, really, it was a pretty fortuitous lie considering where it could have been. I didn't think I'd hit it there, but you know, it was not an easy third shot, and I have zero regrets. Once again, it's easy to say that. I'm not going to lay it up. I'm gonna be aggressive. I mean, you have to, and especially when you're competing against two world-class players, you just can't sit there and you know, and concede shots. So I had a great lie. I used my 54-degree wedge because it was so severely uphill. I didn't want to slide underneath it, and I felt like it was the safest play, and obviously a play I could get within about 6 to 8 feet. And fortunately, it was a little bit closer, and the rest is history.
Were you staying at a Carlson hotel when you were in St. Andrews? Is that because you got such a good night's sleep
Right.
the night before?
No. You know what? I appreciate you asking that. No, there was, to my knowledge, there's no country inns and suites in St. Andrews Village. Maybe we need to work on that. But no, I typically try to on the road because it does feel like another home. But no, I had my wife over there with me, and we had a good stay. And a great week together that obviously culminated in a week we will never forget. And having my wife travel with me is pretty special. It doesn't happen that often. We've got 3 young kids. We did not take them to Scotland because they would have been a mess. But when we do travel, because it is a priority of ours, we want to stay together. We are a family. We try to make it as easy on my kids as possible. Staying at country inns and suites just makes it that much easier. It's almost like a seamless transition from home to a hotel. And you know what? I couldn't be luckier to have great people around me that support me in that fashion, starting with my wife.
It's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful. Zach, I want to talk a little bit about your foundation. I've said over the years, only God himself knows how many millions and millions of dollars golf is raised for charity, whether it be Wounded Warrior Project, whether it be a children's home. And for you to be altruistic like this with your foundation, why don't you talk a little bit about your foundation?
Sure. No, I appreciate you asking me. When it comes down to it, golf provides a pretty awesome platform. I mean, and for a number of facets, specifically giving back. I mean, the game of golf has so many elements and so many aspects, and I'd say even values that can just translate to stewardship, to overall just being a giver. And my wife and I feel like, to whom much is given, much is expected. There's a responsibility that goes along there. And if I can support the community, the people, the individuals that supported me from day one, well, that's exactly what I'm going to do. We're called to do that, and I relish that. I relish those opportunities. I relish those moments. And bottom line is, as you know, when you get good people around you, good things can happen. I've got great support back in my home state of Iowa and where I live down in St. Simons Island, Georgia. I've got a great board of people that communicate and see eye to eye on a lot of things. And basically, when it comes down to it, we're providing opportunities, we're providing life experiences in and out of the classroom for a lot of kids in eastern Iowa, and I couldn't be more proud of it. It's something that I'd like to be remembered for, but there's a lot of individuals that can be remembered for this too, because there's a lot of individuals rolling their sleeves up, getting down to it. We've got great individuals backing it. We've got great sponsors backing it, country inns specifically for the last year and a half. And, like I said, when you get people with the right goal, the same mindset, just quality things can happen. And I think it's a calling. I think it's a responsibility, and it's something I don't take lightly. And you know what? I hope it's something I can pass down to my children.
It's wonderful. Look, brother, I know you're a busy schedule this morning, and I appreciate it. And one last question for you.
Please.
Some people are saying, and certainly I thought this was one of the best Open championships I've ever saw, if not the best. One word, just one word to describe your overall Open experience.
Whew. Awe.
Ooh? Okay,
awe.
I'm gonna write that
awe.
down. Quote Zach.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna say awe. Augusta in 07 was shock and awe. 2015 Open champion. I am in awe.
All right, my brother. Good luck and continued success on your journey with golf, and more importantly, with what your foundation's doing.
Thank you, Randy. I appreciate it.